Hello y'all, this is the Ninja DC, breaking down the Equestria Girls friendship trailer because surprisingly no one has done this outside of a few reaction videos. So I've decided to break down the facts, presumptions, and predictions for friendship games. Or in other words, what we know for certain, what we can logically deduce, and predictions by piecing those facts and presumptions together. This is only part 1 as Comic-Con is this week, so more info is bound to drop. Needless to say though, spoilers are ahead. Seriously, do not complain. Let's start off with the obvious facts. The third film is Friendship Games, and deals with said competition between Canterlot High and Crystal Prep, Warner Colts and Shadow Bolts respectively. The three big sports are roller skating, archery, and motocross. There may be more, but for a main 6, those are what matter. The main 6 breakdown in those competitions are AJ and Fluttershy for archery, Pinkie Pie and Rarity for roller skating, and Sunset and Rainbow for motocross. At some point, magic will start to creep into Canterlot High during the games and, well, costume changes.
Magic is randomly popping up during pep rallies and costume changes.
I really like that last part. Other Twy and Sci-Twy is from Crystal Prep and will be competing in archery alongside Sour Sweet. Also competing from Crystal Prep will be Sunny Flare and Lemon Zest in roller skating and Sugar Coat in motocross. Other Twilight will be an antagonist and at some point become Midnight Sparkle. Chrysalis will also be involved in the story in some way. These last two come from the toy lines and game details. Now we move on to Presumptions, where things truly get interesting. Starting with this figure here. She is older, has crystal aesthetics, and has a bad character design. Thereby I assume this is our principal for Crystal Prep. Seriously, why do the principal designs suck so badly? I'm starting to think either Megan or the animators have a vendetta. Moving on, the competitions will likely be friendship themed, in that they involve two-person teams, as all the competitions thus far have shown two-person teams, even in sports traditionally not involving teams. As for Sci-Twy, she seems to be an outcast at Crystal Prep, who is either pressured into competing or does it so she can actually investigate Canterlot High. We all pretty much assume that the Shadow Bolts team would be jerks, and in this background shot, this seems to be fully confirmed as they are even able to piss off Fluttershy in their first meeting. Twilight's necklace appears to be at the center of the story as well, and likely rooted in her interest in magic. It also appears to act as some sort of magic compass. As for the Shadow Bolts, Sour Sweet seems to be the Twilight or Rainbow Dash of the Shadow Bolts. If there is a clear leader, it's her. If not, she is the Rainbow Dash of the team, and the boastful one that becomes the face of them through said boastfulness. Actually, it would be really interesting to see Fluttershy compete against an evil Dash, so I'm looking forward to that. Back to Canterlot High, Rainbow Dash appears to be the one to actually get everyone excited to actually try this year, as most are just jaded that they always keep losing apparently to Crystal Prep. Also, not just a villain, but a force will likely play a big part in the story. For example, Everfree might start leaking through. Now time for some predictions. However, I'm keeping this part small for now, until part 2. I want my facts and presumptions to saturate for a bit and get those Comic-Con details before I do any big predictions. Still, there are a few. 1. No one at Crystal Prep gives a buck about Twilight until magic shenanigans start to happen, at which point they decide to use her. Don't get me wrong, I think she will be competing first before this, as it seems after her first failed round or practice is where things start to go really south. Portals will likely open before that as well, but that's where things really go bad, as made prevalent by the multiple portals. Another sort of no-duh prediction is that Chrysalis will be a big player in some way. Yes, we know she will appear, but not in what role yet. She could possibly be the vice principal, teacher, or Chrysalis Prime from Equestria. Before I predicted a corrupting force would be turning Twilight down the wrong path, now I believe we know who. And my final prediction is a general outline of the events we are aware of. The movie will start, save a Sirens-like opening, at the Prep Rally, where we get pepped and a backstory in Crystal Prep. From there we'll build up to the gym meet and greet, where we are introduced to Twilight, well, the main 6 are reintroduced to Twilight, and likely our first magic event. From there, Sci-Twy will investigate and stumble across the main 6 again, and from then she'll decide to stalk them, figuring they are all involved with the magic business. The games will proceed and Twilight will fail the opening round / practice. There, another magic disturbance happens where Twilight fixes it accidentally. This marks the halfway point in the film where Twilight starts to be pushed to the dark side unintentionally by the Shadow Bolts and main 6, and intentionally by the corrupting force / figure. So yeah, those are some facts, presumptions, and predictions for Equestria Girls 3 Friendship Games. Tune back in post Comic-Con for a part 2, where I go even deeper into this film. Though my initial reaction might seem negative from my previous video, believe me when I say this is still in my top 5 most anticipated films of the next year. I can't wait to see it in the fall, and in theaters if it is available. Well, this is Ninja DC. Keep calm and an open mind.